This is the new way to glaze your food. If you aren't cooking your chicken like this, now that should be illegal. Let's get into it. Today we're going to cook a whole chicken using a kettle cone. Cooking time for this recipe will be 1 hour. Or for those of you who like to use my beer timer, you're looking at a 2-beer cook. Cheers. I know some of you out there don't agree that 1 beer equals 30 minutes, but like most recipes, the ingredients are just a suggestion. I'm sure you don't need to be told we need a chicken for this cook. Presenting this glorious bird that weighs in at 1.8 kilograms that I picked up from Mitch out at Gippsland Premium Meats. Did you know a chicken in Australia is called a chook, and in America they call it a yard bird? Ah, silly Americans, always getting it wrong. Now, I'll be cooking this bird in 2 halves. Why, you may be asking?
Because I can.
And it cooks quicker by splitting it in half. We all know what's next. Glove up, both sides. You'll need a sharp knife because flipping the bird over, we're going to cut down either side of the backbone. And you want to just angle the knife slightly and start slicing down. And you're going to go through bone. Just take your time. Voila! And now grab the thigh on this side and we're going to do the same thing. Angle your knife slightly and just follow the spine all the way down. Don't throw this away. Put it in a Ziploc bag and freeze it, because offcuts like this are perfect for making your own stock with. Now, lay the bird down nice and flat, and we need to cut through this breastplate. Place your knife right in the middle and give it a good tap. And you hear that crack? Now, you should be able to cut your chicken into 2 perfect halves. If you don't feel confident using a knife to split a bird, maybe you could ask Mummy and Daddy to handle the sharp knife. Or you could use some kitchen shears if you really want to. I'm going to give this chicken a dry brine. First, placing it on a wire rack that is on a tray. You just want to give the insides a good coverage of salt flakes. Then flip the chicken halves over and we're going to season the skin side as well. And then we're going to pop these in the fridge for an hour. If you don't have an hour spare, leave them in there for at least 60 minutes. The dry brine will do a few things. As the salt is dissolved and drawn into the meat, it's going to season it. It's also going to help dry the outside, and it's also going to help tenderize the meat. Today I'm using a 57 centimeter Weber kettle, and I'm pairing it up with a kettle cone and some original heat beads briquettes, because I want to be cooking at temps indirectly that are up near 240 degrees Celsius today. And how I'll do this by placing the kettle cone in the middle of the charcoal rack, and then I'll 3/4 fill the chimney starter up with the heat beads briquettes, light them up. Once they're fully ashed over, I'll dump them into the kettle cone. Don't forget to carefully pop your grill back in. Then I'll put the lid back on, making sure all the vents are wide open, and I'll give that grill 10 minutes to warm up. If you don't have a Weber or a Vortex, well, it sucks to be you. But in reality, any hooded barbecue that you can cook indirectly at 240 degrees Celsius will do the same job. Once the grill has had time to warm up, you want to spray it with some cooking oil. Now what this will do will make it smoke, but it'll also create a non-stick surface for you to grill on. Then spray the skin side of the chicken with the oil as well. What this will do is help crisp up the skin and brown it while we cook it. And because we were only cooking 2 chicken halves, I like to place them on the opposite sides of the cooking grate. Then place the lid back on, keeping that lid vent over one of our chicken halves. Did you notice I didn't put any other seasoning on this chicken? That's because it's going on later. but well spotted. If you didn't know, the Weber lid vent creates a hot spot. As the oxygen is sucked in through the bowl vent up and around our fuel, it is then forced back out through this lid vent. So to ensure an even cook, I recommend turning the lid halfway around so the lid vent is over the other half of the chicken at the 30-minute mark for the rest of the cook. If you are wondering, is it really this easy to cook on a barbecue? Yes it is. We are 55 minutes into our cook and it is time to finally add our seasoning. Yep, we are nearly done and we're only now going to season the chicken. Introducing this new range of rubs I found from Mitch. They are dry glazes you sprinkle on your food when nearly cooked and it turns into a wet glaze. And today I'm using the Yaki bomb. So we just need to lift the lid and give these chickens a good healthy sprinkle of the seasoning. And then pop the lid back on for the last 5 minutes of the cook. A glaze that is dry and then turns to liquid? What next? Electric cars and food that's cooked by microwaves? The chicken is done, but how do we know? By using an instant read thermometer, we have cooked this chicken perfectly, keeping it moist, smut. We all knew it was coming, and because it is now reading 74 degrees Celsius in the breast, we can now class it as no death chicken. Now just get these glorious chicken halves off the grill and we're going to let them rest for 9 minutes. So why 9 minutes? Because it is recommended to let your food rest for 1 minute per 100 grams of food. This was a 1.8 kilogram chicken. We cut it in half, roughly about 900 grams each. You do the math. And after resting, we can slice into it. Well, only after we say, that's not a knife, this is a knife. And then we just slice into that. Oh. I don't even need to say it. You guys can let me know in the comments what you think of that. Then the only thing left to do is eat it.